Imagine losing everything you've ever worked for. Your home, your comfort, your sense of security. Imagine waking up each morning, not in your bed, but in the cramped back seat of your car. The world outside feeling vast and unforgiving. This isn't just a story. It's a journey many seniors face. A journey of unexpected twists and turns, often leading to a place of desperation. But sometimes, just sometimes, a lifeline appears when you least expect it. This is Sarah, and that's her husband, David. For decades, they built a quiet, comfortable life. David worked hard, a skilled craftsman, his hands always busy. Sarah managed their home, a warm and welcoming place filled with laughter and the smell of fresh-baked bread. They dreamed of a peaceful retirement, of grandchildren visiting, of simple joys. But life, as it often does, had other plans. It began subtly, with whispers of an economic downturn. David's work slowed, then stopped. Savings, built carefully over a lifetime, began to dwindle. Then came the unexpected, cruel blow. David's health took a turn. His hands, once so nimble and strong, began to tremble uncontrolled, out of his control. He couldn't work anymore. He tried. Oh, how he tried. But the pain and weakness made it impossible. This wasn't just a physical ailment. It was a thief, stealing their livelihood, their future, their dignity. Sarah remembers those days vividly. The phone calls they dreaded, the stack of bills growing taller, the knot of fear tightening in her stomach. They'd always been proud, independent. Asking for help felt like admitting defeat. But soon they had no choice. The house, their beloved home, was gone, sold from under them. And so Sarah and David found themselves in a place they never imagined. Their car, a trusty sedan that had once carried them on happy family trips, became their new home. It was a shelter, yes, but a cold and unforgiving one. Nights were long and restless, filled with the hum of passing cars and the chill that seeped through the windows. Days were a constant search for a safe place to park, a public restroom, a cheap meal. It was a survival game, played out in parking lots and rest stops. Most people know about Social Security, that money you get when you retire to help you live comfortably. But there's another part of Social Security that many don't fully understand, a part that can be a true lifesaver for those facing severe illness or injury. Social Security disability. It's money for people who can't work because of a serious health problem. For Sarah and David, this wasn't just a government program. It was a glimmer of hope in their darkest hour. They didn't know it yet, but this vital benefit would soon become their only path forward. But getting it, as they would soon discover, was a struggle all its own. Living in their car was a constant battle against the elements and their own fading spirits. Every morning, the sun rising over the horizon felt less like a promise and more like a reminder of their stark reality. David's condition worsened. Simple tasks, once effortless, became monumental challenges. The pain in his hands spread, making it almost impossible to even hold a pen, let alone resume his skilled craft. Sarah, ever the caregiver, tried to make their makeshift home as comfortable as possible, but the emotional toll was immense. She saw the light dimming in David's eyes, and it broke her heart. One cold morning, after a particularly rough night, Sarah remembered a conversation she'd overheard at a community center. Someone mentioned Social Security disability. It was a long shot, but what did they have to lose? They found a public library with free internet access. their only connection to the outside world, beyond their car radio. Sarah, with her slow but determined typing, began to research. The information was overwhelming, filled with official-sounding words and confusing rules. She learned that to get Social Security disability, you have to prove you can't do any substantial work because of a medical condition that's expected to last at least a year or result in death. It's a high bar, and the application process is long and complex. They needed medical records, doctor's notes, a detailed history of David's illness. But most of their records were lost with their house or scattered. The first application was a blur of paperwork, phone calls, and endless waiting. They gathered what medical reports they could, piecing together David's health history like a detective solving a mystery. Each step was a hurdle. Getting to doctor's appointments was a logistical nightmare, finding gas money, navigating public transportation, often having to sleep in the car outside the clinic just to make an early appointment. The sheer exhaustion was crushing. Then came the letter, the dreaded letter, denied, just a single word, but it felt like a sledgehammer to their already fragile hope. Sarah read it aloud to David, her voice cracking. He just nodded, his gaze fixed on the dashboard. They had put so much of their remaining energy into that application, and now nothing. The world outside their car felt colder, harder. Have you ever faced a setback that felt insurmountable? A moment where you thought all was lost? Share your experiences in the comments below. We're all in this together, and sometimes just knowing you're not alone can make all the difference. The denial hit them hard. It wasn't just a rejection of paperwork. It felt like a rejection of David's suffering, of their very existence. Doubt began to creep in. Was it truly hopeless? Would they be trapped in this cycle forever? But then something stirred in Sarah, a deep, quiet stubbornness. She remembered a phrase from her research: "Don't give up after the first denial." Many people are denied at first, but approved on appeal. It was a tiny spark, but in the overwhelming darkness, it was enough. Sarah decided they needed help, professional help. They heard about a local legal aid service that helped seniors with Social Security appeals. It was another leap of faith, another risk of disappointment. They walked in, their shoulders slumped, their hopes guarded. But inside, they found a kind, understanding woman named Eleanor, who listened patiently to their entire story, tears welling in her own eyes as they recounted their journey. Eleanor explained that appealing a denial means presenting new evidence, perhaps even going before a judge. It would be an even longer, more arduous fight. But she also offered a lifeline. She believed David had a strong case. This was their mini cliffhanger. Would Eleanor be the turning point? Would they finally get the help they desperately needed? The path ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, a fragile seed of hope began to sprout. Eleanor, the kind lawyer from legal aid, became their champion. She didn't just offer legal advice. She offered understanding, a guiding hand through the confusing maze of the Social Security system. She explained every step in simple terms, like explaining that Social Security disability isn't just a handout. It's a type of insurance you've paid into throughout your working life, like a safety net waiting to catch you if you fall due to illness. Eleanor helped them gather all of David's medical records, even old ones they thought were lost forever. She contacted his past doctors, obtained new evaluations, and built a rock-solid case demonstrating how David's condition truly prevented him from working. She prepared them for the appeal hearing, explaining what to expect, how to answer questions, and most importantly, how to remain calm and truthful. The appeal hearing was no. David, with Sarah by his side, recounted his story, the struggles, the pain, the despair of losing their home. He spoke of his love for his craft and the heartbreak of being unable to do what he once loved. It was raw, honest, and from the heart. Weeks turned into months. The waiting was agonizing. Every day they checked their makeshift mailbox at a community center, hoping for news. Then, one sunny afternoon, a letter arrived. This time, it wasn't a denial. It was an approval. It was real. Social Security disability had been approved. The weight that had crushed them for so long began to lift. This wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a promise of a steady income, a chance to rebuild their lives. It meant they could rent a small apartment, a place with a real bed, a kitchen, a bathroom, a place to call home again. The first month's benefit payment felt like a miracle. They found a tiny, affordable apartment in a quiet neighborhood. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm, safe, and most importantly, it was theirs. They bought simple groceries, cooked their first meal in a real kitchen, and slept in a proper bed. The simple acts, once taken for granted, now felt like profound luxuries. This journey taught Sarah and David invaluable lessons about resilience and the importance of knowing your rights. For many seniors, Social Security is a cornerstone of their financial stability, whether it's retirement benefits, spousal benefits, which is money you can get from your spouse's Social Security, even if you didn't work much yourself, or, as in David's case, disability benefits. Here are a couple of practical tips that Sarah and David want to share. Lessons learned the hard way. Tip 1. Check your Social Security earnings record yearly. This is super important. You can do this by creating an account on the Social Security Administration's website at ssa.gov. It's like checking your bank statement, but for your future Social Security benefits. Make sure all your earnings are correctly listed. If there's a mistake, fix it right away, because those earnings determine how much you'll get when you retire or if you ever need disability benefits. Tip 2. Don't give up if your Social Security disability claim is initially denied. Sarah and David's story is a perfect example. Many initial applications are denied, but a significant number are approved on appeal. If you're denied, seek help from a lawyer specializing in Social Security disability or a nonprofit organization that offers free legal aid. They can help you navigate the appeals process and significantly improve your chances. Sarah and David's story is a testament to perseverance and the unexpected power of a system designed to help those in need. They are rebuilding their lives, one day at a time, filled with gratitude and a newfound appreciation for the simple blessings. Their journey from sleeping in a car to finding a home again, all thanks to the lifeline of Social Security disability, reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can emerge. And knowing about the benefits you're entitled to and how to fight for them can truly change everything.